Disney's California Adventure theme park opened in 2001, and while it paled in comparison to the Disneyland theme park that was right next door, it had one ride that stood out from the rest. This ride is Soarin Over California, and it is a flight motion simulator that lifts 87 people up on giant ski lifts and spits you out in front of this 180-degree, 80-foot dome screen that totally sells the illusion as if you're flying over California on an airplane or a helicopter. Now, this was a pretty big deal as far as theme park ride technology goes, especially when you consider that at the time, the only alternatives were like those fat, yellow roller coaster simulators that you'd find at Chuck E. Cheese, or like a literal $1 million flight simulator that's owned by the military or something. Now, aside from the actual ride technology just being super freaking cool, Soarin Over California is amazing for 3 different reasons. Number 1, a lot of the standby line is indoors, which means that there's air conditioning. And when you've been standing around in Disneyland and California Adventure all day, that air conditioning feels good, man. On top of that, they spray like a bunch of different nice smells throughout the duration of the ride, like oranges or like rain or something, so that you kind of get the illusion of the 4D ride experience. So overall, the atmosphere of the ride and the line is just so much better than the rest of sweaty Anaheim, California. Number 2 is Patrick Warburton, the voice of Kronk.
Whoa.
Is the guy that gives you the please keep your hands, arms, feet, and legs, you know, inside the ride. That talk, he introduces the ride to you, and it's just a hilariously charming way to introduce the ride. And the third reason why Soarin Over California is so amazing is the music, which is really the topic of today's video. The Soarin Over California theme is one of the most beautiful and cinematic pieces of music I have ever heard in my entire life. Hands down. It was written by Jerry Goldsmith, the same guy that scored Mulan, Air Force One, Alien, a few Star Trek things, and I personally think that it's his best work. Nowadays, Soarin Over California is just known as Soarin' at Epcot and Disney World, or Soarin Over the World in Disney's California Adventure in Anaheim, California. But the music that accompanies the ride always calls back to the original that was written by Goldsmith. It opens with these beautiful legato, super low strings that always remind me of like Halo, like the opening of Halo. But then it changes keys, which, by the way, the song changes keys like 10 different times. It's incredible. And then these synths take over on the high end and kind of make you feel like you're lifting off, quite literally, which is what you're doing in the ride. The main theme kicks in, and suddenly you're flying over California with beautiful 4K footage in front of you on this giant 80-foot screen. The air conditioning is blasting, the faint smell of oranges drifts through the air, and you're the happiest you've ever been in your life. Not only is the theme just gorgeous and awesome to listen to on its own, but it's perfectly edited to the film that accompanies it during the duration of the ride. All of the cuts are made like right on beat. I swear, like somehow they have everything perfectly synced up. The ride mechanics make you feel like you're flying. At the same time, the film is moving over a certain stretch of land, and then the music is swelling at that same moment, and it's just perfect. It's perfectly synced and edited. Not only is the editing incredible, but the way that Goldsmith actually wrote the song is that the music sort of adjusts and accommodates for whatever's going on in the film at the time. Are you flying over the ocean and seeing a beach? Well, then you might hear more of like an acoustic guitar or a ukulele, some strings, and some more percussive instruments that remind you of the beach, maybe. Are you traveling through an area that's mountainous and there's snow everywhere? Well, then you might hear like jingle bells and like some more wintry sort of percussive instruments. Not only is the music perfectly synced to the film on a mechanical level, but on an artistic level, it also is perfectly synced to the film in how the theme was actually written and performed. And the cherry on top is the final Disneyland shot in the ride, when you fly over Disneyland and there's fireworks that go off and the key of the song changes. It has never once failed to give me chills. It is amazing. The end of the song and subsequently the end of the ride ends with Tinkerbell flying around and these fairy like harps and plucked strings are playing. There's fireworks going off and the ride fades to black and it's over and the song's over. Incredible. Wow. Another one of my personal favorite things about this specific version of the song is that I feel like it uses compression perfectly. There's these giant bass drum hits that happen throughout the song. You know, like the giant bass drums that you hit it with like a mallet? Yeah, those. The booming of that bass drum is mixed in such a way that makes it feel like it's too big and too epic to even be contained by the rest of the mix. Check this out. It's so cool, and I love it so much. While the ride itself and the music isn't the same that it used to be, it is still awesome and totally worth checking out. In fact, the ride actually has been upgraded multiple times, which is why it's not the same that it used to be. So the footage is in higher resolution, the screens are better and brighter, and it still features that main melody that is used all throughout the original song. Anyways, if you are planning a trip to Disneyland or Disney World anytime soon, or you live in California or Florida, check out Soarin'. It is so cool. It's underrated, I feel like. And if you don't have any plans to actually go try the ride out for yourself, that's totally okay, because the soundtrack is available for free, and that is like half of the fun right there. Go check out the track for yourself. It's available on Spotify in Disney's Classics compilation. And it's awesome. Crank it up on some speakers, close your eyes, and just enjoy the beauty that is the Soarin' Over California music. Anyways, that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you really enjoyed it. Please consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video. It helps me out a lot. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.